guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dami and I'm a faith-based content creator, and if you've never seen my face before, you're new to the family, then welcome. I'm so glad that you're here, so glad that you've tuned in. But today I'm going to be taking you guys along with me as I meal prep for the week and showing y'all how I do that as a full-time college student. So I currently go to UGA and I'm a third-year student here, and between things that I'm doing academically, things I have going on with this channel and just other responsibilities I have, y'all, I'm literally busy all the time. So believe me when I say this meal prepping method that I do and just the way I'm able to make sure I get my nutrition in, it's super easy and super realistic if you're also someone who may be working full-time or maybe in college just like me. So I've officially been meal prepping for over 2 years now, and I'm telling you, the only thing that has truly helped me is just more time and more experience. So if this is your first time in the kitchen, if meal prepping has never been a thing you've done consistently, just give yourself grace as you're trying to figure this out. The same grace that the Lord shows you, give yourself grace in this area, because it's not going to be easy. It's going to take some repetition and more exposure. So just be patient with yourself, because you're not going to be perfect. Have I been perfect? Absolutely not. In fact, this summer I actually studied abroad for a little over a month, and y'all, I fell completely off of my fitness journey. And that was completely okay, because I knew what my priorities were at that time. It was not to be tracking my macros. It was to enjoy myself, and I sure did. But when I came back, y'all, my routine was a mess. I had gained so much weight. A lot of the muscle I had built had already turned into fat, and we just had to start back from square one. But that was okay, because y'all, the gains that I have seen since then, God is so good, because the way my body has been developing, I'm just feeling way more confident in my skin. I'm seeing the gains, I'm seeing, the muscle develop, and I'm also feeling and looking my best. But the best part about it is that it's not taking me a lot of energy. It's not taking a lot of effort to be able to see these crazy gains. It's just taking consistency and more experience. And starting with, meal prepping, just being consistent with that, that's such a huge piece of this puzzle. And that's why I'm starting this fitness series with a focus on food, because food is so important. Food is so good, and you should be able to enjoy it as well. So yeah, to give y'all the rundown about what I'm going to be cooking this week and the meals I'm going to be eating. So I always start my day by eating a banana paired with a piece of cooked sausage. And then I also eat some oatmeal with some protein oats, and I always eat that before the gym. But then after the gym, I'm going to eat an apple and then some tuna cakes. This is a recipe that I found on Pinterest that I'm trying out for the first time. And then I'm going to eat some chicken with some sweet potatoes and maybe some avocado for some healthy fats. And then we'll do rice and tilapia, and then I'll have some red grapes for a snack. And then I will have a bagel with some turkey bacon paired with one egg white, and a drizzle of honey. So these will be the meals for Monday through Friday. And on the weekends, I'm a little bit more flexible and more graceful with myself, where I will pretty much just eat whatever my heart desires. But the only thing about that is that it has to be cooked. This way I have more experience in the kitchen and I can still eat foods that support my growth. So this past weekend, I made my favorite pasta, where I just threw some shrimp in there with some garlic, some parsley, just a very simple dish. I made a banana bread before. I made a homemade pizza. And then this morning I made a homemade acai bowl. Literally whatever I feel like eating, I'm gonna eat. I'll just look up a recipe online and then just go from there. But yeah, enough with the chit chat. Let's go ahead and get our meal prep started. We're gonna go buy some groceries too, and we're gonna cook and get ready for the week. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is go ahead and chop up the sweet potatoes that I'm gonna eat with my teriyaki chicken. And all I do for that is I'm gonna rinse the potatoes, the sweet potatoes, and then I just chop them into bite-sized pieces. No, it's not perfect. It's honestly just however I feel like cutting it. And then I drizzle some honey and then cinnamon on it, and then I stick it into the oven for about 20-ish minutes. So it's really easy to make, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut the potatoes up right now, and then I will probably head to the grocery store right after this to buy the rest of the stuff I need for my meal prep. All I'm using to cut is just a cutting board I got from Dollar Tree and a knife I also got from Dollar Tree. So it's not even expensive to, buy the utensils that I use for my meal preps, and the containers that I hold them in, which I'll show y'all as well, aren't even expensive either. I pretty much got most of the stuff I have from Dollar Tree or Kroger or something. But yeah, I don't break the bank on my meal prep at all, and y'all will see that. Alright, right, so I just finished, and that took me like less than 10 minutes to dice all of these up. As you can see, they're pretty like, you know, edible in the bite-sized pieces, kind of what I was going for. But I also tossed them in my sieve and then used my food scale to weigh like how much it was in total. So all that's left to do is just sprinkle some cinnamon on there and drizzle some honey on there. I use about like a teaspoon per day worth of honey, and then just like as much cinnamon as I want. But yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then like I said, we're gonna head out. All right, y'all, so I actually haven't went grocery shopping yet. I'm just gonna wait a little bit, but in the meantime, I'm going to cook up like my sausage that I'm gonna eat in the mornings with my bananas, as well as my 2 pieces of turkey bacon per day. So that's 10 in total if I'm eating 2 per day. So I'm gonna make the turkey bacon first, and all I'm gonna do is just put it on the fry pan and just toss it until it looks like brown enough for me to my liking. And then I'm actually gonna show y'all how I make the sausage, because I do weigh that and like make sure my macros and the numbers for that is accurate. But y'all, I'm a big muncher, so I like to eat while I'm meal prepping, but I also want to make sure that I'm not like eating too much of the foods that are supposed to be like what I eat during the week. So I usually just like either make a little bit of extra of whatever I'm making. So like I know I eat 2 pieces of bacon per day, so I would usually make like 2 extra pieces of bacon if I wanted to eat that, or I'll just like cook a little extra chicken on the side or whatever else like I wanted to munch on. But I'm usually pretty good with like not eating too much of, you know, my foods that are supposed to be like what I eat throughout the week. But what I'm actually doing right now is flipping my eggs, because I'm making my yummy protein bagels that I'm actually gonna eat while I'm meal prepping. So I'm gonna show y'all what that looks like, and then we're gonna get back to it. But right now I'm also boiling my rice for my tilapia and rice meal. So I'm gonna portion that out a little bit later after it cooks and show you guys. And I'm getting ready to also toss my sweet potatoes in the oven and let those cook while I'm doing everything else, since that's one of like the more passive foods that I don't really have to do anything with. So here are the sweet potatoes again. I'm gonna throw these in the oven really fast. So I just threw those in the oven, and I'm gonna finish making my bagels really quick so I can eat. So bagels are served. This is what they look like. There's 1 piece of sausage in there. There's a piece of bacon in each of them, and then 2 eggs with some light mayo. I didn't bring a plate down here, so y'all are just gonna see me eat that off the cutting board. But yeah, that's literally my go-to easy, like high protein bagel that I make usually on the weekends. But I do eat a bagel throughout the week. But the only thing I don't put in there is a piece of sausage, because I eat that in the mornings. But right now I do have the turkey bacon cooking, so I just put it on the stove, just with low heat. That way like I can kind of eat while keeping my eye on it, and then I just like flip them as they're cooking. But yeah, let me eat my bagels real quick and we're gonna move on. Okay, so I just got done eating, so now it's time to meal prep the sausage. So like I said, I make these from like scratch, not necessarily where like I make the sausage from scratch, but like the patties itself. This is just a more cost-effective way of like getting the patties, because if you buy the ones in bulk that come with like 10 or 20 of them, I just feel like this is more cost-effective, and usually you can skip out on the added preservatives and stuff if you buy this. But I will say like Kroger's sausage only comes in like hot or spicy, or like mild or spicy or something. This is mild. I usually get my sausage from Aldi, but they've been out the past 2 weeks that I've tried to grab some. The reason why I don't really like sausage that's, you know, flavored or just have some sort of like spice added to it is because what companies will do sometimes is use like bad meat and then season it. That way like they can still give you a product that tastes good, but it may not be the best quality meat. And if you read the nutrition label, Kroger adds like sugar and spices in their sausage, which means they're flavoring it to enhance something, which is like kind of skeptical. So yeah, yeah, I just like usually stick with Aldi, but unfortunately I did have to get sausage from Burger. Aldi doesn't have anything in their sausage, so if you're looking for good quality sausage, you can probably, you know, use that as an option. But yeah, I just took it out of the package. It is a little messy when I have to do this, but you know, you do what you got to do. And all I do is I'm just gonna measure out 2.1 grams of sausage per serving. So I'm just gonna measure it out, I'm gonna divide it, and then I'll just toss it on the fry pan and cook it all together. So I'm gonna rinse my hands because they're kind of sticky, and then we'll do that. So with that entire thing of sausage, I was able to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 patties, which is pretty good because I paid only like less than $3 for the sausage itself. And then I also did have a little extra left, but sometimes like I make it into a patty that I can munch on right now. Other times I just throw in a little extra for each patty, which is probably what I'm gonna do right now since I did just eat. But yeah, all that's left to do now is just press them into some patties and put them on the stove. So what I like to do is like when I press it, I just like squeeze it all the way down until it's flat on my palm, and then I like round it out. That way it looks like a little circular patty and like, you know, looks cute and has some form to it. But yeah, I'm gonna do that for all 7 of them and then just throw them on the stove so they can cook all together. All right, so while the first 4 sausage patties are cooking, my rice is actually finished. I cooked enough to where I can have about 50 grams of rice per day. So I have my bowls and like my meal prep bowls set up over here. So I'm gonna measure that out, and then all I have to do to finish this meal out is just cook the fish and just throw it on top. So I have my little measuring cup. It's about 1/4, but I'm just gonna like measure it evenly since I know that I cooked enough. So I'll just try to put an even amount in each bowl. The sweet potatoes just got done. I took them out the oven, and I usually like to just drizzle some extra honey on it while it dries and while I let it cool down before like I put it into the bowls. But I left my honey upstairs and I don't feel like going back up there, so I'll be okay. But let's go ahead and try some. Ooh, that was a little hot. But that is done. I'm gonna finish cooking up the sausage and I'm gonna go to the grocery store. All right, y'all, so as y'all can see, it is dark outside now. Some things just didn't go as planned, but that is okay. I honestly thought about like ending this vlog right here and just like redoing it because things like kind of went left today, but I just decided to like keep at it and just show y'all like what a realistic weekend in my life looks like, where, you know, we have to pivot. You just have to keep going even if things don't necessarily go the way I plan them to do. So thankfully, all I have to do now is just meal prep my chicken and also just cook up some tilapia. I originally planned on making those like tuna rice cake thingies, but I feel like it's gonna take too much time and it's already getting late. It's like 8:30 at this point and I'm still trying to get to bed on time to make sure I can get up for the gym in the morning. So I'm just gonna cook my chicken. I'm doing teriyaki chicken like I usually do, and I'm gonna walk y'all through that recipe, and then I'm just gonna throw my tilapia in the oven after I season it. But that shouldn't take me too long, probably under like 30 minutes, but we'll see. So all I'm gonna do is dice up the chicken breast after I clean it, and then I put some soy sauce, I put teriyaki sauce, some honey, and then some olive oil in it along with the seasonings, and then I just cook it on the stove. So I will show y'all and like walk y'all through how I do that. So I have my food scale over here. I'm gonna weigh out about 9 ounces of chicken. I usually put a little bit more just because after I clean it, there is sometimes like some water left on it, so that might like alter like the weight a little bit. So I usually do about like 9.2 ounces of chicken, but I like to cut it up into just like bite-sized pieces. I still have to clean it, but after that, I'll just like cut it up. So first I'll like go through and just like make it a little more thin. That way, once I do cook it, it's able to cook a little quicker and cook evenly. But yeah, it's pretty simple, but let me clean the chicken really quickly. Alright, so the chicken is all seasoned. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on the pan, and then I'm gonna season my tilapia in the meantime. All right, y'all, so the tilapia is in the oven cooking, and that should take about like 10 to 15 minutes because it's been in there for like 10 minutes now. But I'm gonna go ahead and section off the sweet potatoes with the chicken since the chicken is finished cooking. After that, the tilapia should be done, and I'll go ahead and put a piece of that in each of the rice bowls. But yeah, that is pretty much it, y'all. As you can see, it honestly didn't take me that long to meal prep, but because I had to take a break, you know, in between like the morning time when I started and now, just because some things happened that I needed to take care of. It did take me pretty much all day, but I was able to get some work done in between, so that was good. But yeah, I am a little tired, and it is way past my bedtime. I think it's like almost 10 o'clock now, and I'm usually in bed by 9 o'clock on Sundays, 9:30 at the latest. But you know, things happen, and that is okay, because you know, we have to adapt. If you focus on being perfect, then I promise you, you will never make any progress. And today was just an example of that. I'm glad that y'all got to see this version of what meal prepping can be like, because the reality is you're not going to be perfect. You know, not every day or not everything is going to go as planned. And yeah, I was a bit frustrated at the beginning, but you know, honestly, I talked to God, I gave it to the Lord, and I said, God, you know, just give me the grace I need to be able to wake up, you know, to pivot the way I need to in the morning and just go from there. But I'm so grateful that all my meals came out the way I wanted. They all look so good, and I can't wait to eat each of them. The only thing is I wasn't able to make those like tuna cakes that I was gonna make. Hopefully I can make them next week, but what that means for me is that every day this week I'm just gonna be eating tuna straight out of the can. So I've already went off and just like sectioned what I'm gonna eat tomorrow. This is just 1 can of tuna. It's 33 grams of protein, no carbs, and like half of 1 gram of fat. So I mean, it's great macros, and that's the only reason why like I'm eating it. Otherwise I would have substituted it for like a drumstick or something, but honestly, you really can't beat the macros in a tuna can, and it's just so cost effective that there's just no better alternative. So I'm gonna eat that, and then hopefully next week I can find something to do with it rather than just like eat it out the can. But I honestly don't mind at all. You know, like I've built the discipline to where it's not that like I need to like eat it in some form of like meal. I mean, last semester I was eating it out of the can after the gym every single day just to like build that discipline. So I'm glad, you know, I gave myself grace through that time. I have that experience to where, you know, on days like this, it doesn't kill me when I have to eat tuna straight out of the can, but it is what it is. But I was sectioning off the sweet potatoes as I was talking to y'all, so I'm gonna show y'all what this meal meal looks like when it's like done. So this is what the sweet potato and teriyaki chicken combo looks like. Y'all, this is my go-to meal. I kid you not, I've been eating this for like 5 weeks straight because it's just so good. And like, you know, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. So this has been a really big go-to of mine. Just some honey drizzle sweet potatoes with some teriyaki chicken, and y'all, great macros and it tastes good. But yeah, I'm just about done. I mean, all the dishes are pretty much washed because I've been washing as I've been going. So all that's left to do is just wait for the tilapia to finish so I can wash that pan off. But before I like pack everything up, I'm gonna show y'all what that final dish looks like, that rice and tilapia combo. But yeah, guys. Oh yeah, I forgot to also show y'all that I did section off my grapes. It's just a handful of grapes in each bag, and I just like split the bag up and of course munched on some in between that. But yeah, I don't really measure those like down to the T. I'm not super precise with those. I just kind of eyeball it, but it should be about like 100 grams worth of like grapes. But I usually eat those in between classes because I have 3 classes on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. So after my first class and, you know, sometime during my second class, I munch on those. But anyways, let's just wait for the tilapia to finish and we'll pack up. All right, y'all, this is what the tilapia and brown rice combo looks like. So I put a piece of tilapia in each of them, plus I split one piece of tilapia up into 5 sections just to get a little extra protein in there. But yeah, I feel like the fish came out a little lighter than I wanted, probably because I had to defrost it really fast, so it's not as fresh. But y'all, it is what it is, and it's still gonna taste good. So I'm gonna pack this up really quickly before I head upstairs. We are finally back in my room at last. I have put everything away. The food fit in my fridge, thank God, because that is sometimes the struggle I have, is just making sure I have enough fridge space for everything. But I didn't have any problems with that today, so all is well. But I'm really glad that I was able to, you know, use that downtime that I had in between cooking to just make sure that I got everything I needed to get done, you know, to make sure I'm ready for tomorrow. That way, once I was able to cook and finish with that, I could just put everything away and go to sleep. And that's exactly what I can do now. So thank the Lord for wisdom to make sure I used my time well, even though it's not exactly how I wanted things to go. But you know, there's just still so much to be grateful for. Like, I have a fridge full of food that like I actually enjoy eating. You know, I have a bed that I can lay down on. I have a clean room. I have nothing to worry about except to just take a shower and go to bed. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I hope you got some encouragement that, you know, you don't have to be perfect. I cannot stress that enough. Y'all, I used to fall under the same misconceptions that, you know, I have to be good with cooking. I have to eat the things that look aesthetic, and, you know, I have to make sure I'm not taking tons of time to cook, when really all you have to do is just start somewhere and let the rest fall into place. You know, just get that experience that you need and give yourself grace in the process. Because if there's anything that's guaranteed about this, you know, with meal prepping, with your fitness journey, wellness, whatever it is, it's that you're gonna have to develop a backbone and some resilience, because things are not gonna go the way you want them all the time. But yeah, that is all I have for today's vlog, and definitely let me know if you enjoyed the video for today. That way, you know, I can start making more content like this. I'm super into fitness, and I would love to share the tools that, you know, the Lord has blessed me with, that has allowed me to see success. Because y'all, when I say the gains have been gaining lately, I mean, all glory to God for real. But yeah, definitely comment down below. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. And I love you guys, and I hope y'all have a great week. Try to find time to get in the kitchen, whip something up, and comment down below. Let me know how that goes for you. But I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.